Larry Sharpe has traveled the country and has personally visited every county in New York State, listening to people's concerns. The Sharpe Way is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. The number to call, want to chat with me after our first break, 585-346-3000. Happy Halloween. It is indeed Halloween today, making me rethink a little bit about when I was a kid and what's happening now versus when I was a kid. This morning, I went to my local deli. If you listen to this show, you know I live in New York City and Queens. And my deli and everything around me is walkable. My deli is, my dentist is, my computer repair shop, all walkable. So I walked to my deli this morning to pick up a couple things. And here in Queens, most of the time when kids go trick-or-treating, they don't always go house to house. You have apartment buildings here, homes next to each other, people are working, depends. Most of the kids go very early, right after school, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, like that. If it's in the weekends, if it falls in the weekends, they'll go at noon or 1 o'clock, very early. They usually go to actually businesses. So they'll go to the local deli or the local laundromat or the local smoke shop, believe it or not. Whatever it is, they go to a certain place, and they'll hand out candy there. It's a common thing. So I talked to the guy there. I know my neighbors. I'm an oddball. I actually know my neighbors. So I talked to one of the guys who works there. Several guys work at the deli. And I said, it's Halloween. He said, it doesn't feel like Halloween. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I don't know. Last couple years, been different. Really different. I said, well, it's been changing for many years, right? I've been in the city most of my life, right? A little kid, in the 70s, I was trick-or-treating in the Bronx. So very different. He said, no, yeah, maybe it just feels different, whatever. And I left. I grabbed my stuff and I left. And I thought, wait a minute, is this guy right? I said, you know what? Since the lockdowns, it has been different. I agree. But what about since I was a kid? Now I was running around the South Bronx in the 70s, trick-or-treating. And back then I lived in a big apartment building. Exactly what you would be imagining is what I lived in. Big apartment building, 6, 7 stories high, 2 different sides, wings of the building, apartments on each side. That's where I lived. And that's where we trick-or-treated. And it was at night. We didn't trick-or-treat during the day. We trick-or-treated at night. 4 or 5 kids, anywhere from youngest is probably 6 or 7 years old. Oldest is probably 12 in that area. Oh, elementary school in that area. The older kids did their dumb things, but I wasn't older. I was a little guy at the time. So we went together and we'd go door to door, knocking on doors. My parents didn't know where I was. Nobody knew where I was. Well, a bunch of kids. My dad basically said, stay in the building. Done. I didn't. We went to other buildings because we were kids and we did what we wanted. And we went and we got candy and we ate what we wanted and we had a great time and Halloween was amazing. And we were all poor. So very few of us had decent costumes, right? I remember one year, like I put on my dad's clothes and my mom used her makeup to put a mustache on my face. I was like, I'm adult guy, whatever. Just, I had something on so I can get some candy. Some kids had bought them fake masks, but it was fun. I thought, well, that's great. Is that now? It isn't. Kids go very early. Parents are always with them. It's very limited to what they can do, limited to where they can go. And it's all completely planned. And I would argue, if you know how the South Bronx was in the 70s, it was far more dangerous. They made movies about how dangerous it was. The old movie about corrupt cop Serpico, was filmed in my neighborhood. So yes, for those of you who are old enough to remember that movie, Serpico, that was filmed in my neighborhood. That park scene was the park I played in. It was not a safe neighborhood. But still, people go and act like the world's ending for the kids. Does that matter? I would say yes. I think we want to have a community of people who feel safe. I think we want to have a community where our kids can go and do this. And we don't focus on that at all. I don't hear anyone talking about that. I hear our governor on Halloween throughout social media talking about BLM, I'm not joking, anti-Semitism, hate crime hotlines, hate speech hotlines, the New York State monitoring social media for hate speech. I'm not making this up. She is literally speaking about that now. And about Lieutenant Governor Delgado going around the state having community circles, talking with people about how they feel, I'm not joking, how they feel about hate speech. That's what matters. Our communities are falling apart. Our kids can't trick or treat on Halloween. And she's worried about this. We are worried about wars in Europe, in Asia, in the Middle East. And we should be. Those things are important. Of course they are. But if you're the governor, is that your priority? Is that your focus? Or is your focus that a local holiday, Halloween, is becoming a joke? In fact, what they're more concerned about here in New York City, this is true, is not kids being able to trick or treat. They are more worried about the Halloween parade, which happens in Manhattan every year, which, by the way, I love. I'm not against the parade. The parade's amazing. If you like it, go. Have a great time. It is very adult, right? So understand if you go, not for kids, really for adults. And that's fine. It's at night. We all know it. Enjoy. Do what you like. No worries. My concern is that is our focus. Something else happened recently in New York City, in a building similar to a building I grew up in. There was a fight between two families within the building. One man was mad at the other. I think if I remember the story right, for a series of noise issues. They're mad at each other about noise. So they're fighting each other. It ended with one man firing 9 rounds into 2 adults, the 2 men who were in that family, the father and oldest son, who were shot to death. He executed them. Shot 9 times, and each of them a round to the head to finish them off. This was an execution in front of the 10-year-old child and the mom. That happened in Brooklyn. And how do I know it? It's literally on video. They haven't found the guy yet. No arrests, no nothing. Day before Halloween. What are those kids going to do now? What's that 10-year-old going to do now? Just lost his older brother and dad, executed in front of him, in his building, by a neighbor. That's our community. And we are worried about community circles, about how you feel about hate speech. Meanwhile, in your communities, neighbors are murdering neighbors. That's my city. Neighbors murdering neighbors, and we are worried about monitoring social media for hate speech. That was a new law, by the way, that our governor put into place, a new law. And not just that, she's having the state police be activated. And she actually put, I'm not joking, millions of dollars into our state police, our special hate crime group, whatever she calls it, hate speech group, millions of dollars to focus on that. And again, I want to be clear, a hotline to talk about Not hate crime. Not even I'm killing somebody because of it. Because I'm talking about it. Because I'm talking about it. And obviously, I don't want you to talk about it. It's terrible. It's a bad thing. But that is our priority? When neighbor is killing neighbor in front of neighbor's children? When Halloween is no longer children enjoying themselves, going to family and friends and neighbors that they know and communities that they know, but now it's only to safe places with the parents or not at all? That's the answer. And then she's talking now, trying to equate anti-Semitism with BLM, which politically is brilliant. I mean, they're not the same, but that's fine. She only cares about politics, so I guess good. Equates them both. She now cares about BLM now too again. That's back. She cares all of a sudden. In case you didn't guess it, all of the people involved in that shooting I just spoke to you about in Brooklyn, they were all black. Do Black Lives Matter? You tell me they do. That's what you tell me. Yet I just saw one black man end the lives of two other black men in Brooklyn in front of their family. That's what I saw. And sadly, that's what that 10-year-old saw. That 10-year-old now will take that trauma to the grave. Will feel that pain until they die. But let's worry about community circles and hate speech hotlines. It's actually embarrassing, but that's where we are. Am I wrong? You can tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL Rochester, New York, back with your calls and the chat after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable
Okay, we have a caller already, Keith from Rochester.
Cyber attacks.
You're welcome.
Than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
To live the quality of life we deserve in truth and freedom, informed by our Constitution, our laws, and traditions, we need to pick the best leaders possible. Recent experience certainly illustrates that. Free and accurate elections are essential if we're going to restore our society and safeguard our rights. New York Citizens Audit is a volunteer, nonpartisan group which has been lobbying for open source audits of the State Board of Elections and reform of the electoral process statewide. Did you know Citizens Audit has uncovered over 1 million felony violations of election law? That in 2020, there were 625,000 more voter registrations than existing voting age citizens in just 6 New York counties, that there were 338,000 more votes cast than voters who voted. These are just a few shocking examples of the urgent need for reform. You can help. Visit auditny.com and learn the facts, how to volunteer, and make a difference in your community. Again, volunteer, donate, or spread the word. Start at auditny.com. That's auditny.com.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
It is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. 585-346-3000 is the number. Talking about New York State. Talking about what's been happening here and what's been happening in my city and Halloween. And I want to grab a call if I could. This is Keith. Keith, how are you, sir?
3 housekeeping items and then my main comment. Number 1, kids who went trick-or-treating the night before Halloween, the 30th of October, for us growing up was always Beggar's Night. I ask people today, they don't remember Beggar's Night, so things are changing in the Halloween world. Number 2, kids today are having, as I've observed, more Halloween parties. Yes, they go out trick-or-treating, but not to the degree that I think that we did in our time. They just aren't. And third, you mentioned the safety of the neighborhoods. When you were growing up, I'm going to quote Bugsy Siegel, we only kill each other, and then he himself was rubbed out by fellow mobsters in 1947 when Goodfellas, that kind of mob activity was fully enforced. The streets were safer because the bad guys knew not to mess with the mob guys. The mob guys never went to the cops. They took care of it themselves. I've asked my friend Tony, who's 100% Sicilian American, where are the strong Italian American guys today who would prevent the ripping down of the Christopher Columbus statues? Italian Americans in past generations would never have allowed that. Now they pull down Columbus and no Italian guys show up. So things are changing. I mean it without being facetious.
So hold on, Keith. Keep your primary idea in your head. I want to touch these three first, then go to your primary. Number one, the night before Halloween, when I was a kid, we used to call Hell Night. But yes, we had a night before Halloween too. So I do remember that idea. You're right. They don't do that now. That does not exist. Number two, the parties. 100%. The parties are right. And the reason why that happens more, I think, is the kids have grown up not having to be their own people. They've grown up I'm sure when you and I were kids, when we wanted to play whatever sport, baseball, football, basketball, we'd go down and just do pickup, right? We just find guys out there. We'd go to someone's house. Hey, is Johnny out? Can we go play? Now everything's a play date. Everything is set up. So now even Halloween has to be the same way. And that's the party piece. I agree with you. Third piece, I'm also going to agree with you. When I was a kid in the Bronx, the big gang was the Savage Skulls. That was the name of the gang that was around when I was a kid. That gang is no longer around, but it was when I was there. And I knew many of them, like I knew who they were. They literally wore jackets that said Savage Skull on the back. Like we knew who they were. But I was a kid. And to your point, I was out of bounds. I wasn't scared of them. They weren't going to hurt me. I was a civilian kid. I didn't matter. Like I could watch them do their business and I would just keep walking and go buy my bubble gum or whatever. It didn't change anything. So I kind of wanted to just touch those three. Keep going.
All right, my final comment on that. No lie, everyone. When the mob was in control, the streets were safer. Like Bugsy Siegel said, we only shoot at each other. If you were a kid during Goodfellas, you could go out and play. You don't play today because of the gang wars. Like you were saying, if I may, the African Americans. We got a whole new kind of organized crime today. They don't care. They'll shoot at anything. My primary question, I'm surprised there was a court ruling against a Libertarian Party and another party keeping you off the ballot for me to preface it in what I'm calling pre-voting. I thought that would have been your opening comment. You were dealt a serious setback, all you libertarians, and I thought you would open up against the courts on that and pray tell what that means for the libertarians having any say at all in state politics.
Well, it's a great point. The reason why I didn't bring it up, and for those who don't know, Keith is correct. About 2 weeks ago, the Supreme Court refused to hear our argument that New York State's ballot access laws are completely bogus, wrong, unconstitutional, and everything else known to man. And they said, no, we don't want to see it. We don't care. Which the two parties, again, Keith is correct. We did a joint lawsuit, Green Party and Libertarian Party, because both of us want to be on the ballot. And we were dismissed. The reason why I didn't bring it up, to be very forward with you, Keith, is I knew it was going to happen. If you remember last year, I was personally in court during the initial ones. Like I did some pro se work. I spoke to the court. I did some writing. I was directly involved in a couple of these lawsuits. And I watched how the judges just did not care. You will hear me often attack the horrible New York State judges that we have. Why are they horrible? Because they're stupid? No. Because they're evil? No, that's not the reason why. They're bad judges because they care only about the state and not the individual. That's the reason why they're bad. They care about precedent and the state and the law and not our rights and individuals. And sadly, they often don't even care about the Constitution. They care only about New York state law, even when New York state law is unconstitutional. They don't care. They've shown that 1,000 times. That's why even all of our gun laws that get reversed never get reversed in New York state, but always get reversed at the Supreme Court. Because the Supreme Court at least does care about the Constitution in general. New York state judges do not. They care only about New York state law and only about what their system does. So the reason why I didn't bring it up, Keith, is I knew it. And I am already working to get ballot access for an independent party next year. I'm already out. I don't know if you noticed, last weekend, I was back out. I did 7 stops last weekend. Right? Again, Schenectady, Hamilton County, Long Lake. I was in Herkimer County. I was in Ulster County. I was all over upstate New York again. I travel every year, try to motivate people to know I'm still here. I'm not running this year, but I'm still traveling, meeting people. I still do this show because I'm going to try to get us ballot access next year, even though it's going to be hard, even through those laws. I'm just going to battle through. Last year, they whipped my butt. They did. They tried to break the back of the Libertarian Party, and they did. They actually broke our back, and I hit the canvas, no doubt. But they did not call 10. They didn't count the 10. I got back up, and I'm still fighting. Did I at least answer your question, Keith?
If all conservatives were like me, you would be on the ballot, even on the top row. Thank you for listening. Bye.
I appreciate it, Keith. Thank you. Well, to be forward, Keith's right. If you are a conservative in New York State, you don't have a party. Officially, there's a conservative party, but it just does whatever the Republicans tell them to do. So there actually is no real conservative party if you are one in New York State. It doesn't exist. The closest thing you're going to get is me. And I'm not a conservative, but I respect conservatives, and I do have some conservative views, without question. You've heard me say many of them. So I have some conservative views, and even if I don't, I respect you, and I respect conservative views, even when they're not mine. Democrats in this state don't have conservative views and don't respect conservatives.
Mike Rochester.
Literally, they have said all conservatives can leave New York State. Literally, Cuomo said it, then Hochul said it. They don't want you. I do. I would like you to stay. I think conservatives have value like every other New Yorker. It's important, and they have every right to be in this state like everybody else does. That's what I feel. Let me grab the call if I could. It says Mike from Rochester. How are you?
Hey, Larry, pretty good. Hey, I'd like to make a few points. Keith was right on today about the Libertarian Party being jacked around in court. And my second point I like to talk about is Queen Hochul.
Her Majesty.
She made her foreign visit to Israel last week. Okay, parading around, and then come to find out she was going to get her field trip paid for by some organization. Now that's in the ethics committee, and she wants to bill New York State supposedly for $12,000 for her trip. I'm like, wait a minute. Who could fly an entourage to Israel, eat really well, and see the tours for $12,000? Because I like to go on that tour.
Me too. Would love that. I'm with you.
With armed security, 24/7. Okay, which are New York State troopers. You're telling me you got those troopers? I figured it out. Okay, you're telling me you got those troopers for below minimum wage?
Yeah. Hey, Mike, I'm up on a hard break. Can you stay on through the break?
Sure, I can.
All right. I'll talk to you soon when we're back from the break. Guys, Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000. Back with your calls and your chat. I see you guys on the internet. I see you chatting. I will bring it up all after the break.
For truth and freedom.
WYSL
Okay, Larry, make it quick with Mike. We have Khalil. On the line from Harlem. Do you know him by any chance? Okay.
Snow showers out there, a little bit on the chilly side. We'll drop into the low 30s on Wednesday. A cold day, partly to mostly cloudy. A few lake effect snow showers at times. Maybe a little coating on the grassy surfaces. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s. Mostly cloudy Thursday, near 50. Back into the 50s for Friday and Saturday. I'm Rich Canilia, WYSL.
Looking for more storage space? Who isn't? Springwater Amish Workshop offers a variety of styles and sizes of quality built storage buildings. Take advantage of their 3% discount on buildings when you pay with check or cash, or choose to pay by rent to own with no credit check. These buildings are constructed using premium grade lumber, and most carry a 30-year limited warranty. Currently in stock gazebos and select sheds are on sale at rock bottom prices. End of year clearance sale prices now in effect on in-stock outdoor products. Take advantage of sale prices now by doing your Christmas shopping early. You can pay by layaway as well. Springwater Amish Workshop will store your gift until Christmas. All American made, mostly Amish built. Take the scenic drive to Springwater Amish Workshop. You'll be happy you did. 7936 Mill Street, Route 15 in Springwater. Open Monday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturdays 9 to 3. Check out SpringwaterAmishWorkshop.com.
Temperatures may be falling, but the deals are as hot as July at Victor Chevrolet, the new leader for Chevy in Rochester, Canandaigua, and Fairport. Check out these great lease specials. Go anywhere, on road or off, in your new Chevy Silverado 1500 LT Crew Cab. Just $379 a month for 27 months. Tier 1 credit approval required. Must have current lease and household. The 2023 Chevy Equinox LT all-wheel drive. Only $199 a month for 27 months. Must have Tier 1 credit approval and current lease and household. Or a 23 Chevy Trailblazer LT all-wheel drive. Just $199 a month for 27 months. Tier 1 credit approval and current lease and household required. Mileage allowance on all deals, $10,000 per year, $2,500 cash or trade equity, plus first payment and DMV fees required at closing. Get more details at dealer. And don't forget, Victor Chevrolet also has an unbeatable pre-owned selection. Whatever brand vehicle you're driving, you can trust it to our Chevy Certified Service Department. Come see how easy it is to do business with us. Find new roads at Victor Chevrolet, Route 96 in Victor.
Just in time for the winter heating season, RG&E and NYSEG got their rate increases. Even if you have an updated high-efficiency furnace, you'll be paying more to stay comfortable. What can you do? Well, you can save with economical, state-of-the-art, quiet, efficient More infrared zone heaters, just like we do here at WYSL. More zone heaters let you turn down your central heat and stay cozy in the room you're using. Heat from More infrared is healthier. No combustion to dry out your nose, sinuses, and skin, so your family gets even quiet heat that fills rooms with warmth, not dust and blower noise, oxygen-rich and moist. More heaters have no exposed hot surfaces and no heating elements to pose shock or fire hazards. They're completely safe around pets and children and have easy roll casters to make relocation a snap. With new copper PTC technology, there are no bulbs to replace ever. Save even more when you mention the promo code WYSL. Buy direct and get lowest prices anywhere on the web. Call 800-707-8725 or visit more.com. more.com.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
Batavia Downs Gaming exists for you to have fun coming to visit us. By doing that, you help support our member counties, education, local charities, and each and every one of our 400 employees. We want to say thank you. 2022 was our biggest year ever in credits played, money provided to our member counties, money for education and charities in our area. And we want you to continue to love coming here. Batavia Downs.
All right, so after you wrap up with Mike, I got two more callers on hold.
Livingston County Pizza
Correct.
Company
And then we have Julie in Ohio.
On Tuesdays, a large 4-topping pizza for $18, regular or gluten-free. Call 226-9575. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Livingston County Pizza Company and gluten-free bakery in Avon.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000 is the number. Before the break, I was talking with Mike about our Queen Kathy, first of her name, destroyer of the middle class, supporter of the elites. She, her traveling to Israel. Mike, you still there?
I'm still here, Larry. Yeah.
Thank you for holding on to the break. I want to bring up a point. I get that if the governor is traveling around the state, maybe visiting some tragedy or some issue or some worry, that she needs special assistance, maybe special travel arrangements. No problem. That never makes me angry. I'm never upset about that. That's her job. She should be doing that. My issue with her trip, Mike, is going to Israel was campaigning. That was not anything to do with any of us. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. When I seen she was in Israel, I was screaming at my TV set, and my wife looks at me, and she's like, you know, she says, even my wife doesn't follow the politics. She's like, why is she there?
Yes.
Says,
yes. That is a campaign or personal expense that she should spend. Her own dollars, and her husband are both wealthy. So they can spend their own money or they can spend campaign funds. That is, we should not be paying for that, Mike. I appreciate that.
Also, one second other quick point is Kathy using the state police, and actually she showed up at Corning yesterday because of the threat level there. Mm-hmm. Well, she goes, it's threats, anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish, and then anti-Muslim. Right. Okay. Right. Who's making the threats against each other? I'm trying to figure this one out. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not sure, Mike. Mike, I got other calls I got to go to, my friend. Thank you for the call.
All right, Khalil.
If I could grab next one more call, I'm going to grab Khalil if I can. Khalil, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
He's from Harlem.
All right. So I work in DHS, Department of Homeless Services, yep. And I'm almost supporter there, but they make it seem like I'm supposed to be a CO. Like I'm telling people with nowhere to go that they can't like do certain stuff in the bathroom, you know, like they're addicts or whatever. So like it had like my managers have me as CO, like I'm a correctional officer or like a cop or something, and I'm trying to explain to them like, yo, they have nowhere to go. How am I going to tell them they can't do certain like tell a person that needs help they can't do certain stuff?
Khalil, you are bringing up a point that is so critical, and thank you for this call. I say this to this audience all the time, and they don't hear it. When someone's in trouble, you can't treat them like they're a prisoner. They're in trouble. You have to help them, and now they're making you the bad guy. I agree 100%. Keep going.
Yeah, so then I even told them, I was like, yo, the reason why there's like needles on the floor is because they don't have no place to go, so they're just leaving it in the garbages, and I have to grab these garbages. I'm like, yo, if you just put like just even stupid stuff like that, like a place to put their needles or something like that, or just I don't know what the like I know what the answer is, but they're not listening. How do I get them to listen to me? And then whatchamacallit? And then it's like I'm about to have a guy that with nothing to lose. I'm about to fight this guy with nothing to lose.
Yep.
I have nothing
to lose.
Yes.
My God, Khalil, thank you again. The people who are doing the work like you are with this very tough population that you're working with are people, to your point, have nothing to lose. Why in the world do they want to put you in a spot against that person?
Julie, Ohio.
You're trying to work for this. work for your life to make yourself better, to pay your own bills. And all of a sudden now you're in that spot. I'll tell you how you do it. You do it by making them afraid they may lose their power. This is why I focus heavily on third party. Third party politics is the answer. Now, I'm not a Green Party member, but I supported them on the ballot too, right? I'm a libertarian, but I support the Green Party too. I support any party that is going to break this system. And the funny part is, when it comes to your issues right now, war on drugs and all those things, the Green Party and the Libertarian Party, we're on the same page on that one. On that one, we're on the same page. So I think that is your answer, Khalil. I appreciate the call tremendously.
Julie, Ohio.
All right, let me grab the next call if I could. Thank you for that call, Khalil. This is Julie from Ohio. Julie, how are you?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I saw your title. Is Halloween more important than war? Actually, I think they're both important. I'm anti-war, but I've been so discouraged by everything that has been going on. I'm older, so I don't have any children in the household. But your show, because of that title, you know what? After your show, I'm going to actually go out and buy some Halloween candy and pass it out.
You just made my day, Julie. You have made my day. Thank you.
Yes, I've already looked it up. I know it's from 5:30 to 7:30. And so I thought to myself, you know, everybody needs a break. Take a break. Breathe. You know, take a moment.
Especially for families, right? Families are extra stressed now. Well, go get some candy, right? And just walk around with your kid or something, right? I agree completely. Yes.
I'm going to listen to the rest of the show. I don't have any child to take trick-or-treating. I do have a dog that might enjoy having children show up to, you know.
That would be cool.
Yeah, get some candy or whatnot. But, you know, we all need to take a break.
Absolutely.
We really do.
Julie, thank you so much for that call. You made my day. I appreciate that.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye-bye. So what's funny is that was a great combo. I wish I'd planned that.
Roger
gave us some really tough story, which I know he's in a tough spot trying to make stuff work. His head's obviously and heart is in the right spot. And then here comes Julie saying, I'm going to go out and get some candy. So good. Amazing. I wish I set it up myself. So good. Let me go to one more call if I could. Let me grab Roger if I could. Roger, how are you?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
What's going on? Yep.
Check it out. To all my fellow New Yorkers, I don't care whether you are independent, apolitical, socialist, liberal, progressive, conservative, libertarian, or you just hate politics and politicians. Listen up right now. Go to uniteny.org, then click Issues Advocacy, scroll down, and hit Initiatives and Referendums. They are promoting Senator Pamela Helming and Assemblyman Joshua Jensen amendment that would amend the New York State Constitution into a citizen ballot initiative state, allowing us to place our own amendments, laws, and referendums on the ballot so we can approve laws, repeal laws, and ratify our own amendments into the New York State Constitution. Their Twitter is @unite_NY. Their website is uniteny.org. Hit Issues Advocacy, scroll down, hit Initiatives and Referendums. Call your senator and assemblymen, and the bill numbers are S2290 and A2933. That's the Assembly bill and the Senate bill. Okay, you want to talk about?
Let me tell the audience why this matters so much. If you're listening, you're saying to yourself, Larry, why do I care what this Roger guy is saying? Why do I want to do this? because if you want to get around the system, and Khalil, if you're still listening, you can actually get people to care about issues that the elites are never going to let come to the light of day. This is the glory of this. Obviously, I hope that if we put something on the ballot, it gets passed. But even if it doesn't, at least it gets talked about. And if we can put the fear into these people to make change, then they may change it on their own before it gets changed for them. So either way, it's a win. Obviously, I hope that it gets passed. But if it doesn't, it pushes the issue to the forefront. And Khalil, you have an issue I talk about all the time. We can put this on the ballot. And all of a sudden now, they got to talk about it. Roger, am I right?
Correct. Because with this, you'd be going around the state politicians and have power. It's more than having a say. You'd have power to pass your own laws, repeal laws, and put your own amendments ratified into the state constitution.
There we go. And the thing that I love is you can also repeal them. Even better. Roger, thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it.
All right.
So look, there are things that we can do. And with all of that, I have to go back to what Julie said. Maybe we should just chill out, take a break, have a little candy. Then do what Roger said. Maybe first have some candy. Then we can do that and maybe pet a dog. I mean, Julie absolutely made my day. Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio. WYSL Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000. Back with the chat. I'm watching you. I will take care of you after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth.
There's an old saying, maybe you've heard it. If you want a friend in Washington, get a dog.
Easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
New from Aaron Moore Infrared Zone Heaters, just right for smaller spaces. Meet the Comfort Buddy, a smaller heater for the guest room, laundry room, or sun porch. And the Comfort Buddy offers the famous Aaron Moore advantages like no exposed hot surfaces, child and pet safety, plus big energy savings from turning down your furnace. Upgrade your Comfort Buddy with an optional air purifier you can use all year. Buy direct and get the lowest web price. Use the promo code WYSL and save even more. Call 800-707-8725 or visit airthenmore.com.
Get your tickets now for a Stars and Stripes celebration, Friday, November 3rd, 6 p.m. at the Rochester Riverside Convention Center. Help celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Veterans Outreach Center and honor the men and women who have served our country with a night of fine dining, dessert, and dancing. Special ticket pricing is available for all veterans. Go to vocrlc.org/celebration or call 585-546-1081. 585-546-1081.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
We have had an amazing show here. Larry Sharpe on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. So happy that you give me a small chunk of your afternoon. And boy, a lot of calls, a lot of back and forth. But you've been chatting with me on the internet also. For those of you who are watching or listening online, I appreciate that also. And those listening on live on the radio, amazing. So happy. So let me grab a couple of these if I could. Julie says, what's happening in the communities all across the USA is very discouraging. Yes, you will hear me constantly talk about rebuilding communities, focusing on communities. And one of the things that may seem silly, but really isn't, is actually begging, asking, encouraging communities to solve problems, supporting them in solving problems. What Khalil talked about is one of the biggest problems, right? When you go to a government facility, you have government rules. So Khalil, who's trying to do the right thing, he's basically trying to be a social worker and help people, and they're turning him into a jailer He doesn't want to be a jailer. He'd go work at Rikers Island if he wanted that, right? He would go do that. But he's not working at Rikers Island. So he's trying to do the right thing. But when you have community solutions, they understand the community problems. There are some of those in the Bronx now. They don't throw you out for drug use. They know your problem is drug use. So why would they throw you out for that? They would instead support you in breaking your addiction. And that's what communities do well and government does poorly. Khalil literally said, where are they going to go? What are they going to do? Yeah, there is no community answer because government has taken that over. If we were to give communities, and the example I'll give, I know some of people who are listening aren't religious. I'm just using this as an example in case you feel pushed away by this. Some local churches have found answers. Things like giving food away, things like giving clothes away. This brings community together. It gives them purpose, and they stop shooting each other. I'm not joking. They stop shooting each other. Joe is trying to trigger me. He says more laws lead to less crime. Literally the opposite is true. I'm not taking the bait, Joe. I'm not taking it. I know you're messing with me. I'm not going to take it. Yes. That's very good. Dave says, didn't Detroit have a Devil's Night around Halloween? Yes, traditionally, the night before Halloween was something special. Hell Night, Devil's Night, Beggar's Night, something like that, right? Keith is correct. Traditionally, that has been true. Those days are over, Dave. They don't do it again. They don't do it anymore. Dave goes on to say, how were the gangs in comparison to the movie The Warriors in the late 70s? For those who don't know, there was a movie about New York gangs in the 78, maybe 79, maybe it came out in that area. It's a cult classic. Love the movie. Watched it when I was a kid. I watched it recently. Like I wanted to go back and watch it like, I don't know, 3 years ago or something. So love the movie. The gangs were nothing like that. The Warriors was a campy, cool cult classic movie, but it was not like, the gangs were not like that in New York at all. Except one thing was true. What doesn't happen now is that in the 70s, gangs usually literally wore their colors. That was a thing you hardly ever do now. It's very rare. Now they literally would have a jacket with their name of the gang they're part of on their back. And if you wore the jacket or wore the name and you weren't part of the gang, you were in trouble. So yes, that was true back then. So that type of thing of having more of a uniform, I think was true in the 70s. Almost like motorcycle gangs, similar to that. I don't think that exists anymore. At least when I've been in the Bronx, I'm in Queens now. But when I go to the Bronx, I never see that. I never see it in Queens. People who are parts of gangs now, they don't advertise it like that at all. Not a thing. John says, it's my birthday, Larry. Even then, my birthday nor Halloween is more important than the issue of war and trying to stay out. Thank you, John. I would agree. Staying out of war is important. Trying to stop wars to the best of our ability is important. Obviously, we can't stop all the wars. I wish we could. That'd be awesome. But I think you're right. We should be trying to stop them to the best of our ability, trying to stop the killing to the best of our ability. But we can't stop it all. By the way, happy birthday. Good. So Austin says, hey, Larry, sorry it's off topic, but if you became governor, would you establish a privy council similar to Massachusetts Governor's Privy Council, to a council of advisors? Of course. I've already said this. And when I ran last year, I was already open to many other people to be part of my ticket, to be part of my group, 100%. Right? For those of you who don't know, I am one of the rare libertarians who keeps my hand open and my arms open to all the other parties. I speak to people on the far left, the far right. I have them on my show. I interview them. I go to their events. I wasn't joking when I talked to Khalil about supporting any third party. Someone was asking, why am I happy about Cornel West running? Cornel West is almost a socialist, if not there, and I'm not a socialist. Why would I be happy that he's running? Because if he can break a hole where I couldn't, we all get to go through that same breach. Whoever breaks the hole, we all go through the breach. If I break the hole, they follow me through. If they break the hole, I follow them through. The system right now is our problem, right? If we can fix the system, this is why you will hear me support Roger all the time. right? Roger is further left than I am. But Roger wants to make a change in a system to where we can take control of our own system. I'm in. Will every law and every ballot initiative be one that I support? Of course not. But without it, I got nothing. So I'll take it. Yes, Roger's right. I'm in. Let's support him. Because if he breaks a hole, I go through that too. Our real enemy actually isn't left versus right. That's what they tell us. But our real enemy is the establishment. That's the real enemy. They're the ones who are holding all of us back. We should be able to go back and forth. We should be able to have real conversations and fight politically on real issues to solve problems. But we don't. We yell at each other. You're left, you're evil. You're right, you're evil. That's what we do. So, yes, and I do believe in having people of all political faiths, is the right answer, political viewpoints together. My day job when I'm not doing stuff like this is a business consultant. That's how I make my money. That's how I pay my bills. That's why I live in a big city like New York. Big business is where I make my money. One of the things I bring up constantly is the home run, the holy grail of business, of any group, any team, is diversity of thought with unity of purpose. If you can achieve that, you have the best chance for success. You may still fail, but your odds of success shoot up when you have diversity of thought, not just ethnic background or skin color, diversity of thought plus unity of purpose. If you can achieve that, you increase the odds of success. And I look at that in business, in politics, in life, in anything. So to answer your question, it's a long answer, but yes, that is correct. I agree with that. I would do it 100%. Joe goes on to say, Florida government fights against statewide ballot initiatives here. Most do. New York State does too. Why do you think Roger's on a call telling me this? Because they're fighting him too. 100%. I've been talking about it all day long. Yes, Florida is not uncommon. This is the norm. 100%. This is the norm. So, all right. Valerie says, shared the show. How about more of us? Share Larry's show on your page. Guys, if you are watching this on social media, please share it. It does help. Thank you so much, Valerie, for that. I appreciate it. John says, I love the Warriors, LOL. By the way, if you're hanging out one weekend or one night when you're like, what should I do? I'm kind of hanging around. Get a friend. Watch the Warriors. You can probably get, I guess, on like Netflix or something, Amazon Prime. I don't know where it is, but the movie's at least 30 years old, right? Hold on. 78, 79, something like that. If you could actually spend some time watching that movie, it's a fun movie. It's campy, but it's still, and you'll see, one thing you'll know is you will see some of the stars who broke out from it. A couple of them did. So maybe you'll like that. I appreciate that, John. I really do appreciate that. All right, let me grab a couple more of these if I could. So many of these. Forrest Mommy says, happy Halloween. Guys, thank you for that. Today is Halloween. And I want to say, Julie, you made my day. I think I may go have some candy. I appreciate it. Everybody else, please have some candy today. I'm telling you to ruin your teeth and ruin your diet. I know, but take a break. Guys, thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I will see you all very soon.